The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
The Mighty Fraser's a real unique river. This is one of the first places that the Aboriginals became nomadic because the mild climate, the year-round fishing on this river, just the history of the river alone, between gold mining, the fishery, the rugged mountains, the quick water. The average speed's about 15 kilometers an hour. It's a mean beast. Very extreme, fast water, big-ass fish.
For Fred Levitman, the adventure continues in the Canadian Rockies. And the adventure is with Jeff Grimolfson and 20-something sturgeon whisperer, Nick McCabe.
Out on the Fraser River, our main goal is to, target the largest white sturgeon possible in the river.
Nick, who I've been fishing with all week especially, he is really, they call him the sturgeon whisperer. The kid, he lives and breathes sturgeon fishing.
I've guided for giant white sturgeon for 2 years now, and it just doesn't get old for me. I love being out there every single day.
How do you pattern a fish that's been on Earth for 250 million years?
And we're really starting to get it narrowed down to, certain spots are hot at certain times of year, others aren't. So we kind of move where the fish are, and we've learned that over the years. It's coming up.
Oh my God!
There he is.
Okay. Holy cow! There we go.
He gets just as excited now, 10, 12 years into him fishing sturgeon as I'm sure he did when it was his first year. He's passing that excitement along to me and everyone else that he fishes with. And Nick is really, has made it easy for me to catch fish here. His knowledge is really unsurpassed.
When it comes to one of the world's largest freshwater fish, not all rivers are created equal.
Sturgeon fishing on the Fraser River in British Columbia. They call this the Mighty Fraser. It's one of the most powerful rivers in Canada. And looking around me, sheer mountain walls, canyons on either side of us. It's really a treacherous river. There's some spots of this that are beautiful, delicate looking, but this particular stretch of water right here, borderline dangerous. When you do hook into a big fish, you're really taking your chances if you're gonna walk away with a trophy fish or your life. When you have heavy rains up in the mountains, this river floods, rises, and gets even more powerful than it is now. And that's why they have these jet boats. They need the power of the jet boats to actually maneuver the boats through the river. If your engine goes down or you have some kind of mechanical failure, you're in trouble. Help is nowhere near you on this river.
The dangers of this river are the things that you cannot see. There's rocks that will open this boat right up and sink it that are only 4 inches under the water. There's hidden gravel bars, sand bars. You hit a gravel bar, you plug your intake on the jet, and you're powerless spinning down the river, and help's not coming. You have to figure it out on your own. You have to act quick.
Catching the sturgeon on the Fraser River, it's about as extreme as it gets fishing-wise. We use about 250-pound test line, super heavy-duty reels and rods. Even the tackle that we use at times isn't strong enough for some of these monsters. We end up sometimes chasing the fish downriver with the boats, sometimes several miles, just because the line and tackle that we have won't physically handle the strength of the sturgeon. So we gotta slowly tire them out, kind of drifting, chasing them downriver. It makes for an extreme battle.
As exciting as it is to come to a new place, fish a new species, it's also a little bit nerve-wracking because You really don't know what you're getting into. You don't know how these fish are gonna fight, how they respond to you, how you're really gonna respond to them. And I've seen photos of these, you know, quite literally 9, 10, 11, 12-foot sturgeon that are like meat logs. And we're fishing in this fast-flowing current, and I have no idea what these fish are gonna fight like. So as exciting as it is, it's also, it's nerve-wracking.
On British Columbia's Fraser River, a team of sturgeon masters with experience beyond their years hunts down North America's largest freshwater fish.
So out of, I suppose, necessity and a little bit of ingenuity, since this is such a snag-prone area, rather than spending, you know, tons and tons of money on lead sinkers that would obviously get broken off here, railroad spikes. They're using railroad spikes for weights, which is really rather ingenious. It works, and it's free. They're old, defunct railroads, a lot of which are back from the gold rush era all over the place. So it's as simple as walking the tracks, picking up, you know, some 16 or 20-ounce railroad spikes, and we're using those for weights. And it's really, Jeff and his guys have really figured the place out and come up with some ingenious ways to fish these waters.
When it runs with the current, it takes ample horsepower to chase down a monster.
And he took off downrip. These fish want to take you, they take you. There's really not a whole lot you can do. So the tackle that you have to use to land these fish is really on the heavy side. 150, 200-pound test leaders and main lines. You know, hooking the fish isn't so much of a problem. Landing them, that's just a whole nother thing. Just when you think you've got these fish under control and he's tired, he's right under the boat. Figure out that you really have no idea what their intentions are. We had him right under the boat. Shit, he took out another 60 yards of line. We're back chasing him down the river.
Yeah, you know, when you have a 300, 400, 500-pound fish, you know, coming right out of the water, your rod's bent right over, they're pulling you right into the back of the boat, you know, you're busting 200, 250-pound test line. It makes for some extreme fishing, and it shocks people on how powerful these white sturgeon really are.
No wonder. Sturgeon have been weight training since the dawn of time.
Brutes, man.
Nice fish.
Oh. Those are strong fish, man. Oh. Nick, the fish whisperer. You did it again, man. Well, you know what? Every one of these we catch is different color patterns. You know,
Got a lot of weight on it.
yeah, you know, pronounced white spots. Pound for pound, Nick, These are really one of the strongest fish I've ever fought. Awesome. It seems like every one of these is so unique looking. You know, this one's spots are so pronounced compared to the other ones. He's almost purple. Back home, boy. Awesome. It was nice being able to see him swim away healthy, like that didn't even bother him. Good stuff, Nick. Good stuff. Wow. Size the head on him.
Monster tackle for a monster river and a truly monster fish. Fred Levitman's White Sturgeon adventure moves on. Young sturgeon whisperer guide, Nick McCabe.
Nick has just caught like a super juvenile sturgeon. Oh man, he is tiny. Swing him up around here, Nick. Check this out.
Just a baby.
Very cool to see. Now, these fish grow so slow, Nick. You're saying this fish is probably, what, a couple of years old? Several?
Yeah, he's probably 10 years old.
Wow.
Somewhere in there, 8.
It's a super slow growth rate on these. So the other fish we were catching, I mean, they're 30, 40, 50, 60 years old even.
Yeah.
Awesome. Why don't we get him back in the water, though?
Yeah, we'll
don't want to
put
keep
him
him out too much.
There he goes.
That was very, very cool. It's nice to know that they're reproducing and breeding in here.
As you're seeing these juvenile fish more and more all the time, that's hard evidence that the fishery's coming back. And being 100% catch and release, it makes for a good day of fishing out there and allows these monsters to grow as true monsters.
Big wing-like pectoral fins and shark tail, and a powerful body have been shaped in the sturgeon by millions of years of rivers, like the mighty Fraser.
One of the great things also with fishing with Nick is that he grew up on this river, so he knows it like the back of his hand. I mean, he was rifling off names of all these spots. I mean, he was probably up in, 20, 30 different holes and, quite literally knows exactly where to cast baits and at what times, meaning at what height the river is, where exactly to place your bait so that they land right in the holes and the current takes it and drops it really right where you want it.
The biggest fish I have landed on this river to date, was 10 feet, 1 inch long, 1,000 pounds.
In the Fraser, every strike could be a fish like that.
You can tell it's a big fish when you set the hook and you feel like you snagged bottom. Coming up, Craig, coming up. That's a big girl. Wow, size the head on him.
So when we get hooked up to a sturgeon, it's basically like hooking up to a pickup truck. As soon as they hit the fast water, they are gone.
And he's digging deep in this hole. You know what? If he gets us into this current, we've got those rapids right behind us. We're gonna have to try to keep him out of. You never know when you're gonna hook into that 14-foot, 1,200-pound sturgeon. I mean, they are in this river. There are documented catches of 13, 14-foot sturgeon that, I mean, if I ended up seeing one on shore, I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing.
The mighty Fraser, and a team of sturgeon whisperers, especially young guide Nick McCabe, to go after the largest freshwater fish in North America. And fighting them is as tough as any fish there is.
Oh my God!
He's big, Fred. He's huge.
Yeah, he is. Oh, it's nice when they come up and give you a good look at him.
Is that on the 5-minute warning?
It was. Always is, isn't it? And he is just down there in the current laying. Got a feeling we're gonna be here for a while.
Yep. Buckle up.
You can feel this line rubbing off the fish's body, which means it's wrapped around him at some point. So while I'm trying to pull up on him, I'm really not pulling him up from the nose, pulling him up backwards, sideways, so it makes it that much harder. He might be coming up here, Craig. That's coming up, coming up.
Oh my God!
And Fred has said it's not the hooking, it's the landing.
BC sturgeon. Ain't no joke. We've worked this guy to exhaustion, I'm hoping, because I'm on the brink of it. Nick's landed the boat right up on the shore here. We're gonna try to get him alongside and off to the beach and try to land him, but I'll tell you one thing for sure, this fish is calling the shots. I'm just hanging on for the ride. All right, Nick, so once you get a hold of the leader, I'm just gonna lower the drag and pop it in the rod holder. The line is wrapped around his fin here. You know, some of these fish, I'm sure, have probably been hooked before, and man, they don't want to get caught. They're truly, truly powerful animals, which adds to the allure and desire to come up here and try to catch one of these massive fish that and quite literally is twice my age. Well, Nick, you said you'd put us on him, and there he is. You definitely put us on him. Hey, what a beast. Easy to see why, when he was in the water and didn't want to come up, man, I just had no say in it. Massive, massive fish.
Yeah, he come up twice, and right away he showed himself there. We knew what we were dealing with.
Oh, I knew what I was in for after seeing him.
Yeah, that was a long, hard battle.
Amazing.
Very healthy fish.
He is, and you got a tag in him?
Yeah, he's was a new fish. We put a tag in, now he's in the system. It's cool to see a fish this old, which is a 70-year-old fish. What do you think? 400-pound fish? At least?
He looks 400 to me. Massive. Look at the size of this thing. Well, Nick, you promised me monster fishing. You know, that right there, monster fish.
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
Here's so long before us, not even our most ancient ancestors ever saw them. The sturgeon goes on because of anglers like Fred and the guides who are the sturgeon whisperers.